All right. There we go. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Can you all hear me? Mic working? Hello, hello, hello. Let me know when my mic's working. Working on the Punch Out today. Super Punch Out, or not Super Punch Out, but a Punch Out. Punch Out like replica. I believe it's going to have 5 boxing games on it. So just a mirror image on each side. Got the speaker grates. I kind of showed it last week, but I'm actually working on it today. So I got the speaker grates on it. I was just doing the bezels, putting some paint on that. Got done with the panel yesterday. This is the panel design. Obviously kind of away from the original somewhat, just because of there's going to be a few more extra games on there. But I mean, the original panel artwork. And then obviously we kind of threw in start, coin, exit, and things like that, just to kind of switch out of the different games, just because it's going to have a couple more games. And then I think originally there was just a big button here, I believe, and we put 2 single ones. It's got the 4-way joystick on there. So what I was actually working on was the Marquee here, which I'll probably be working on that. Probably gotta go put another coat of paint on the other side of that. But this is what I'll be working on today. And then it's getting 2 monitors obviously in here, just like kind of like the original. I think they're 2 27-inch monitors. The bottom one will be kind of at an angle, top one would be more flat. So yeah, let me go put another coat of paint on this, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna zoom out just a bit. You guys can kind of see there. And like I said, I'm gonna go put another coat of paint on those bezels for that Marquee up on top, so I can get that guy put in here. I was just waiting for those to dry up on that side. So yeah, this is what I was talking about. The top bezels, that'll go up here and down here. Can't really see, but up on top for the Marquee. So let me go put a coat of paint on these. There's only a couple of you on. Let us know if you have any questions about anything, though. Like I said, I'm just going to be working on this today. I don't have a machine to quality check at the moment. They're finishing up one right now. It's one of our number 9s, and they actually got purple trim around it and a few extra add-ons on that guy. But I'm going to go hit these quick. Anybody? I'm just gonna bring these over here. Because when the heat kicks in, pushes heat up over here, so these kind of dry up a little bit faster for me. So I usually set those up there to dry a little bit. I'm just hitting these with paint in the paint booth quick here. And then I'll bring them out to dry up here. Just because it's a little bit warmer back here, or over here where I'm at.
Ooh, that's sexy. I'll be everywhere.
Oh, you son of a... Is this my top? Let's see now.
2 octaves. I got mochi and it was horrible.
Go hit that one more time quick. I just seen a little spot on here, and then I'll see what you guys are chatting about. Just one little spot on here that I missed, and I'll just hit that quick. There we go. Much better. Yeah, I'll see how that dries up. I might have to hit that one more time. But it's all right. Yeah, I'll just let that dry up quick. All right. All right. Yeah, he's working on that's actually going to be the machine of the week. So he's working on that guy. I can show you guys here. Yeah. So yeah, this will be our machine of the week once he gets finished with it. But yeah, fantasy, just kind of show you guys. With gold trim on this. Turned out really cool. There's like the kick plate. With that neon ring. Extra added USBs in there. Did the gold for that marquee too. You guys can see that. And then I think it's mirrored. It's the same image. No. So it's different on the other side.
I don't know anything about Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I don't really either know much about Final Fantasy. That was something that I never really got into.
The only one I know is Kefka on the other side.
And then you can just peek inside here. Jimmer's doing this one. It's got all the wire managed in there. Nice. Looking good. Computers down in there. Subs in there. Drives in there. So he'll be slapping the TV in there and getting the panel on and the box and get final programming with that. So yeah, that'll be our machine of the week this week. King of Fighters. Yeah, I think that's what Street Fighter is kind of based off of. King of Fighters. Aren't them that and like Street Fighter kind of similar? Thought it was. Oh, awesome. Holy cow. That's crazy. That old, I'll have to check it out. I was gonna say, I thought like King of Fighters or something. I thought was kind of based off of, or Street Fighter was kind of based off of that somewhat, but I'm not 100% certain on that. Yeah, we're old. Yeah. So then I'm gonna do, like I said, I was gonna do the marquee here, so you guys will be able to kind of see how that gets done. This is just gonna be a backlighted marquee, backlighted marquee, I should say. So I'll make a board with some lights on it and things like that, but I'll do the poly part of it right now. Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I just thought I heard somebody at one point in time say something that they were kind of similar, but. So first thing here, I'll move the camera. Yeah, first thing here, so this is what I was doing just to show you. Maybe I'll raise this up a little bit higher and come up from up above a little bit here. So bear with me a second. So there you go. I'm trying to back up. So you guys can kind of see. I'm trying to get it in the viewing angle here.
Oh, I thought it was pretty decent. You just gotta go knowing what you're eating.
Right. Sorry guys, hang on 1 second. Just seeing if I can't get this thing any higher.
Do you want this last mochi?
What is it?
It's mochi.
Mochi.
Green tea and red bean.
I'll try it.
You probably won't like it, but do it on stream so everyone can see.
Whatever this is, a mochi.
Mochi? Oh yeah, mochi's great.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, so I said.
I
think I prefer them. Like they usually come with ice cream.
It tastes like a fig Newton. Kind of.
Kinda. Yeah, that's something like that.
A fig or a prune.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay. Anyways, so we cut these here, and there'll be tabs on them. So sorry about me chewing. But so I'm just gonna take the orbital, sand these tabs and edges quick. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm trying to get it. Sorry, I know I'm playing with the camera. Yeah, I can't like tilt this camera down anymore. Okay, I think that's decent there. All right. Yeah, I can kind of see what I'm doing. All right. So there we go. So like I said, I'm just going to sand these edges. And then basically put this on the back side. And then just use Scotch tape and tape it on. And then those bezels that I was showing you, that's what holds everything in place. So really, really simple. Don't need to sand it a lot, just enough to obviously kind of take all the sharp edges down. Then obviously this is just a protectant to protect that piece of poly. So actually, what I actually do, I usually will lay some rags down just so I don't scratch this here. So I'll just wipe that off quick. So then I'm just gonna peel this protectant cover off of here. So I'll peel it off both sides. And then, like I said, I'm actually gonna lay a couple of rags down here just to protect this so it doesn't get scratched. I think two will be plenty. There we go. There, that way, if this moves or anything, it won't get scratched because I gotta peel the other side off. Yeah, there's really nothing fancy as the way we, like I said, stick these on here. And then usually now I'll clean it. I'm gonna grab a clean rag here. Where'd my knife go to? Just give me a second. I have to open a new bag of rags. So, I know we're in the process of doing some gloss black ultimate pedestals. So we'll probably end up showing off one of those sometime soon. And I know we got a 70-inch monitor for one of them. So that should be interesting to do that and kind of show that off. I know we got, like I said, that coming up at some point in time. We're doing this punch out build right now. Jimmer's working on that Final Fantasy build. Blaine and Nick are, like I said, doing that number 9 pre-build. And then you got the purple trim T-molding around it. And then I think you got a few extra other things added. So this is the other kind of challenging part, is to not get dust underneath it. When I start taping this, obviously the front side's not a big deal, but the back side, I mean, if some kind of does get in there, I usually don't tape the sides. Those are open. So I usually will be able to blow majority of that out. But I like to get this as clean as possible. And then I'll end up wiping this. I actually end up wiping the image down with some mineral spirits just to get any, because I know sometimes they can have just a little bit of like residue on them. So just a little bit of mineral spirits will take the residue off. It doesn't hurt the artwork at all. So I'm I'm just gonna get that cleaned up there. And I'll probably end up wiping the back of it once I get it set on there. I'll grab this other cloth. I'm just gonna wipe it with a clean dry cloth just to get whatever mineral spirits is left on there. Because that'll clean it up real nice. See, all right, cleaned it up. Cleaned it up real good. And then I'll probably just end up. I'm big on just taking clean cloths when I wipe the acrylic again. Just because I use that other cloth, I don't want anything on there, paint or any dust or anything to potentially scratch. So I'll just end up wiping this one more time. And then measure. And then I'll just flip this over. And it looks like I'm probably going to end up having to cut it down a little bit. Yeah, it's just a little too big. Just a hair too big. So yeah, the sides and everything need to get cut down. So I'm actually gonna have to measure. Usually there's two ways that I can do this with this extra. Usually I can get it centered on here, measured between the two, and then hold this down and cut it. Or otherwise I'll measure the glass and take it over there and cut it. Which I might end up doing it like that, as actually measuring and then cutting it, and then cutting it even. And actually feel like I might actually how far is this? Half. So that's roughly. I just wanted to see where my bezels are gonna lay. Because if I had that centered, it seemed like that one green glove was gonna be lower. So I guess I can do this and just see where that's gonna lay.
See if there's one in here that'll work for you.
So that kind of covers that there, but it would cover it more. So let me try flipping this around. I'm just curious right now where these bezels are actually going to line up before I actually do cut it.
Well, let me know.
Just because when I did have it centered, it seemed like the green glove on here was just a hair lower. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'll end up what I'll end up doing is I think I'm going to do it like that. I was actually going to lower that like that because then it won't cover up that glove. Yeah, these are 5/8. So that's what I'll end up doing. I'm just going to end up cutting off that extra on the top. And since I'm going to do that, I'm just going to remove this and cut it. Okay. I'm gonna probably put a new blade on here. Yeah, I'm actually gonna, like I said, cut more of the top off, just because if I would have made that even, that green glove on the bottom would get covered up way more. So I'm just gonna move that down because it looks better that way. But typically, like I said, typically use center, obviously, so all your stuff's centered. But with this, it'll still look fine. Because what do we have for a piece of, it's like 6 inches. So half is about 3. I mean, that looks about like right with half with the letters. So all that'll look good. Kind of just gonna double check. Sitting. In all reality, I could have probably, what I might do too, is I actually might tape the bottom so that stays nice and then cut that top off. That's probably what I'll end up doing. Hey, what's up, Loose Cannon? Yeah, working on like a punch out recreation. Not like the original, but somewhat. There's the punch out. I think I showed it last week. And then I was working on that marquee. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. So I'll clean this one more time. Then actually, that had the mineral spirits on it. I'm going to actually blow the back off. Sometimes it just takes a couple tries to kind of figure it out. Just got to kind of take your time sometimes with this stuff to make it look good. Figure it out. So yeah, I was going to go all the way down to the bottom with it. Make that bottom even and then have that extra off the top, because then that makes those gloves even. So like I said, I get that lined up on the bottom here. And again, just let us know if you guys have any questions about anything. We'll answer them the best that we can. I know I don't have a machine in front of me or anything, but so just seeing how much of a lip I've left to right here. Just trying to even the lip out. There. Got 'em all up. Okay. So that's looking pretty good right there. I just take some Scotch tape. I mean, yeah, you can go in and put, I'm sure it's just going to be running, I believe, our Omega, and we're just going to have I think like 5 games on it or something like that. So, I mean, obviously you could go in and put the cheats on. I don't know what the cheats are for that game.
I'm going to leave that bin until you figure out if that doesn't have any scratches in it or not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll look at it in a second here.
I'm going to go eat my lunch anyway.
Okay. So yeah, I got my new piece of glass cut. I'll just have to double check for scratches and stuff. I had a scratch on the last one. And then we did have to kind of cut it down a little bit. And it went crooked on us. So I'll fit that in a minute and see how that looks. It doesn't look like it's got any scratches to me as far as that protective not being cut. But so I'll double check that in a second. I'm just working on this. And so again, bottom, and then just Scotch tape. And then usually about halfway you do on the back to front. So I usually start on one side. Kind of like how I'm doing here. And I'll actually probably end up relining this back up again, just because I know it's kind of moving on me right now. But it's all right. So there I go, about halfway on the artwork itself. And then I'm coming flat to the bottom. Make sure there. There we go. And then just make sure I had. So I gotta move a little to the left or the right. I'll see what you're saying in a minute, Arcade Adam. Just kind of getting this lined up. It was just a little bit too big. So I lined it up with the bottom because where those bezels to hold this thing in are gonna line up was actually gonna cut a lot of that green glove off. So that's why I lined it up on the bottom, and I'm gonna cut all the extra off the top. So I'm just taping the bottom to hold it basically in place, and then I'll just use my knife and cut that extra off the top. Like I said, you can do it 2 ways. You can do it that way. Otherwise, you can measure how much you want off, and then we have like a straight edge, and you can take that, clamp that down, and cut it. But all right, what are you guys saying here? You guys playing with that? What's up, Chris Killer? Yeah, I guess I don't know what you're talking about, which some kind of emulation hardware. Yeah, I mean, I haven't messed around with anything like that. I'm not sure how, because I know David's taking care of the games. I think he's pretty much sounded kind of like he's just going to pretty much strip everything besides the few games that the guy wants. There. So then now, like I said, there it is. So like I said, this extra bit here, I'll just cut off. Because I'll show you what I was looking at. If I would have centered it, the green glove would have got cut off more, but this bezel holds, you know, this will hold it in place up on the marquee. So like I said, if this would have been lowered, actually, if I would have centered it, it would have covered up a lot more of that green glove. So now it should be about even. It'll cut a little bit of it off there, and it'll probably cut a little bit of that one off there. Yeah, just a little bit, but still looks good. Huh. Sounds interesting. Sounds interesting. All right, so now I'm just going to cut the extra off. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something we can look into. All costs like $600 to $800 depending on what you're trying to do. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of it. Have to probably be something that I have to look into or look to see how things operate with that. So again, now, like I said, I'm just gonna be careful. Got my sharp knife, and I'm just gonna take, you know, follow along right with the poly and cut that extra bit off. And I'm just pushing down hard on the top piece of poly, obviously. Knife blade is just following the edge of that piece of poly or plexi. And then now, perfect. Cut a nice straight edge for me. And now I'll just cut those little bits off the sides here, because there was just a little bit on each side that kind of overhung. Just cut that off. There. I'll cut the other side off. There. So then I got like this. Awesome. Huh. Awesome. All right. So I think it still looks, I'll probably just lift this up and wipe it one more time. I mean, I can see from obviously where I cut, some little specks got in there. But just to kind of show you now, it's all cut now. So again, now if I would put my bezels just to show everyone again, because now that truncate there, oops, yeah, I had it right. All right. Yeah. So just like that, like I said, a little bit of that glove gets cut off on the bottom, but nothing major, you can see. And then the top, like I said, is probably the same. And just to kind of show you there, that top bit kind of gets cut off a little bit too, but not a huge deal. Still looks good. All right. Right here. That's actually, okay. I'm actually just gonna fold my rag. There we go. Use my clean end of my rag here. just kind of give her, like I said, I can kind of like tilt this up now. Kind of get in here. Just do another final wipe. This will kind of double check. And like I said, the sides will be open. If anything, it can blow through the sides with the air hose. But I typically just try to like to not have anything in there if possible. Check on this other bezel piece. Awesome. These are sitting and drying. Good. Perfect. Next, I'll do the lights. I'll check that that acrylic here. Gotcha. Just kind of see what you guys are chatting about. So again, like I was saying, I just do about halfway with this guy. There we go. And then now I'll just do the same thing like I do. I start in the middle. I don't know if you guys can see, but I'll start in the middle and then kind of fold that tape and then push with my thumbnail. And then I'll just go and do one side first. And I push down on this just to keep the artwork flat too. So that doesn't bend any. And whatever extra tape you have on the edge, not a big deal. I can cut that off. And like I said, I got like a little bit of extra bit here. I just take my knife and follow the edge of the acrylic there and cut that right off. There you go. So that's ready to go now. Now I just have to make my lights for it. And all that good stuff. Awesome. All right. So that's done now. I'm going to check this acrylic here. So I could probably focus on the machine now. So turn around here. Tilt this up just a hair. Sorry about the camera. There. But this guy is going in here. I was trying to do it like the original too, which I don't think I'm going to put a bezel in there, because I don't think there was a bezel from the panels of the glass, which I did it real nice and clean with the panel. I know I kind of think I showed the panel before, but here's the panel. It's like I said, it's the original artwork. And then obviously we added a few buttons and things like that for some of the other games that are getting added. And then what I did too is I T-molded it all the way around. So then when it sits in there, it looks real nice and clean. And I don't know if you guys can correct me on this, but when I was looking it up, I thought it was a red and an orange button here. but I don't know if that's right. I think that's what it looked like. I seen a couple of them had like an orange and a yellow, but I think the one I seen was a red and an orange. So you guys could maybe correct me on that. But there's the panel. And here, I mean, there's really nothing to the wiring on that guy. But then I had it to where, like I said, it sits in here like perfect. The one side is a little, but I think I can hone that in just a hair more. I was just trying to go flush with, yeah. Flush. Yeah, that looks like pretty flush there. There you go. Yeah, I mean, there's just a tiny little gap on this side, but nothing drastic. I'll just end up, I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'll just end up putting, because typically I think we put screws on the front to hold it. But I think I'm going to have the panel probably hold the front and screws on the back, so that tightens that up against the panel there, nice and tight. I mean, there's only a little bit of a gap on this one side, but like I said, I put a screw behind there. That'll tighten that all up. So that looks nice. I know this sits down too. There we go. Perfect. Looks good. So there, it's kind of in there. You can see there's really like no gap. Like really, I mean, this is the tighter side. Like you guys can see there's nothing there. So I'm going to make it look clean and not even put a bezel in there. So the panel just pretty much is butt right up to our acrylic. And then with the speakers, I'll end up using like our speaker system here, but I'll end up taking the speakers out of the housing and I'm going to make some other kind of housing for it. And then, like I said, I got this mesh, the speaker mesh. I'll put staple mesh behind the speakers and make that little speaker brackets for those guys up and in there. Well, yeah, that fits all nice there. So now, like I said, I'm going to start working on my lights for the Marquee, and then I'm going to just start working my way down from there. Is there a power button? You guys didn't put a power button. I'll end up having to put a power button in too. They didn't have a power button on this, so I'm having to put a power button in that, which isn't a big deal. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can change them to white. I just, all the pictures that I seen of like an original one, they were red and orange or orange and yellow, but I mean, we can change them to white. Okay. I'm going to flip-flop you around again. Kind of show you what I'm going to do next here. I'll end up actually probably moving this out of the way for now. I'll just fold it up in these rags. I'll set it aside so it doesn't get scratched or anything on me. Oh, thanks. On the control panel. Yeah, it was a little bit just to kind of figure it out, obviously. It's like, Using Aspire is what we use for our CNC. That's the program we use. It just took me a little bit, obviously, to figure out dimensions of our artwork and everything like that. And then obviously taking measurements too of centering those buttons and getting that all lined up. But turned out nice. Happy with it. So I grab actually gonna have to probably cut a piece, or maybe I could cut one of these down even. I might just actually end up cutting one of these because we have spares sitting here. So this is kind of what I was like talking about. We have these spares laying around, which I actually might just leave these because these are for like megacades. And I'm actually gonna probably, I don't even think this is big, or yeah, it's too big. I'm actually gonna have to cut down a piece of wood for that guy. Where's my tape measure? Yeah, I'm probably actually gonna have to go cut a piece of wood, so it's probably gonna take me a minute. I'll be back. Is it possible to install those plastic dust rings at the base of each joystick underneath the control panel? Yeah, I mean, you could do that. You could do that if you wanted. It's just you're going to have to probably put some washers for that circle disc to move around in there, because if you just have that in the bottom and screw it bolted up top, your joystick might not move as nice, because typically when you move your joystick, that dust cover moves with the joystick. I like it. I like the dust covers because I don't like seeing the hole personally, because it's a bigger hole. I mean, just to kind of show you, because obviously you need space for your joystick to move, but just to show you, I mean, you would have a hole. I mean, it could be done if that's what you prefer. And actually, too, I think with these joysticks, too, I think there is actually a lip, so that you might not even need to put spacers. Just thinking about that again, I forgot that there is kind of a little lip on those. So you might actually not have to push washers, and you could just leave the dust cover underneath. But yeah, I mean, you can certainly do that. I mean, if you wanted to do that to your panel, the only other thing too is that you would maybe want to pen black around it, because you can see the wood. So, I mean, if you were to order something like that with us or want to do something like that, I would just make sure that I paint that to look black so it looks nice and clean. That's the only thing that I would do. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's an option. I mean, you guys could do that to your machine too, but like I said, I typically don't paint those black when I do the panel. Usually when I do the panels, I'll paint like the edges and things like that, but I won't paint the joysticks holes usually. Just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. So here's like a panel. So once it gets cut on the CNC and the poly gets all done with it, I'll paint like the edges black typically, and then like the bottom, because you'll see some of this underneath. So I paint the bottom of that. But yeah, like if you wanted to, you could, you know, paint on those black, or if you got it ordered like that through us, I would just spray paint those black. So if you wanted to do that, it would look a lot cleaner instead of just seeing the wood. All right. Oh, wow. Not much left on the stream for this week. About 5-10 minutes here, and my hour will be up. So I'm gonna go cut that piece of wood quick, and I'll be right back. I was gonna take a quick measurement, a 4-inch.
Yeah.
24. 4.5 by 24. What is that? Alright. I got a jiffy. There we go. Found a piece quick. That was pretty much what I needed. Just had to cut it down a little bit. So I just have to grab some lights quick for this. I'll probably just end up putting these lights on here, and then we'll end up probably ending the stream for this week. So let me go get those lights. We'll get those glued on so you guys can see some of that action. So let me go get those quick. So these are our lights that we use for that, for the Marquee. And then they just get tied into 12 volt down to the computer off the power supply. I just have a sticky backing. So then obviously they're connected, so you just got to cut those to separate them. So that's what I'm going to do quick here. Nothing too crazy exciting this week. Like I said, wasn't doing any quality checking. And then what I usually do is I'll put the side ones usually straight, and then the other ones will spread out kind of throughout the piece of wood, something like that. Obviously up on the wood and not hanging everywhere, but usually I do the ends, and then those pieces will lay something kind of like that. But that'll be plenty bright enough. And then actually I want to make sure that, because I'll just snip the one ends on the one side. I'll actually run it like this way, because I want my power to run down the right, because that's where my computer will sit. This is going to be more on the right side. I'll just end up gluing these two on the sides first quick, glue those in, tie a wire in, and then that's ready to go. Again, I'm just going to cut, like I said, the wires off this one side because I don't need them. So usually I'll just cut these down. And then I'll take the sticky backing, you put a little super glue on there just for extra hold. I'll just put a dab on there, a little bit on there. I'll just kind of eyeball this, center it. Same thing here, and then I'll end up running that wire off to the side. Thanks everybody for joining this week. Appreciate it. Like and subscribe, that would be awesome. Like I said, a lot of not much happening. Ugh. Can't talk right now. Can't spit out the words. So yeah, I'll end up going like that, I think. All right. And then too, if we want, we can we'll end up testing. I'll end up testing these quick too, which I maybe should have done before I glued it, but usually I never have any issues with these not working. They're just little LEDs. So we'll kind of go like that, and then we'll just kind of center those guys. Kind of just like that. I'll probably just end up just maybe even centering that one. Like that. Tilt this one just kind of like that and put that one kind of in the middle. And there we go. I don't want to put any more on it, otherwise it's going to be overkill. It's going to be way too bright. So what I have on here is plenty. I actually just kind of want to find center quick. I think it was 23.25. So yeah, I was just making sure that that one was roughly in the center, which it is. So I kind of have light kind of spread out throughout the whole marquee here. There's something just kind of like that. And then what I can do, like I said, just to make sure this works, and then I'll end up putting L brackets. And usually I'll do 4 L brackets, so that's sturdy enough to hold that so it doesn't go flopping anywhere. Otherwise I can do might do a wood bracket too, depending on where it sits, how it's going to fit. But I'll grab my little thingy here just to see if the power works. All right. just take this and just kind of see if this is going to light up for us. Yeah, I mean, you guys can see that that's blinding on camera right there. Just to show you how bright these things are. I mean, that's why you don't really need a lot of them. Trying to get it in there, sit in there. Just so I could show you the marquee kind of lit up. There we go. There you go. Temporary power. I know it's blinding you guys right now, but just to kind of show you. So then I'll probably, have that. I mean, that's pretty, you guys can see. Oh, lost power there. But if you guys can kind of see how that'll light that up. So if I took that away, there you go. You guys can kind of see all lit up there. So there you have it. It's gonna look nice. Awesome. Here, I'll stop blinding you. All right, there we go. So I'm gonna finish that off, you guys, on this machine. I'm gonna get the TVs and everything else mounted inside of this bad boy. Hopefully get it fired up. I'm hoping by tomorrow. I mean, there's not too much as far as like winder management things go. It's just gonna be a matter of figuring out the monitors. Again, like that bottom monitor is gonna sit at an angle like the original. Top one's gonna be more flat. Two 27-inch Samsungs, I believe they are. We're putting in here. All right, guys. Thanks again for joining. Give one last shot of that punch out. The side, like that artwork. Turned out cool. There you go. And then you got the Final Fantasy in the background there, decked out in all gold trim. Showed that off a little bit earlier. So again, thanks guys. Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks. Like, subscribe. All right, bye guys. Let's just read in comments. Bye.